Okay. I'd say that's working. This is my new Stanley number 8 jointer that I picked up for 40 bucks in an antique store recently, and I'm going to do a full restoration of it. I'm going to just go through everything while I work. So, first thing that I have to do is disassemble everything so that I can clean it all up. What I've already done is I've oiled the chip breaker screw, the frog screws, and I'm going to start by taking off the depth adjustment screw. Now, this seems to be, I think it's threaded backwards compared to the new planes. So that's just interesting. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to just take everything off of the plane so I can start cleaning it up. Okay, so now everything is taken apart. We have all of the pieces that we need. These tote and knobs, I'm gonna see if this is the original knob. I might sand it a little bit. Currently, it doesn't really look like it. And this tote, I don't think I'm gonna be able to repair. I have this number 5, which has very similar tote and knobs. And I don't use this number 5 because the sole is not very flat. It's out by quite a bit. So I might just, at least for now, take the tote and knob off this plane and put them onto the number 8. I will eventually make some handles for this number 8. But for now, I might just use these. So, other than that, put those aside. And we can start working on cleaning up the body. Now, I'm going to take this brass brush. I'm going to just try to clean out some of that dirt in there. Let's see if this, I don't think this is the best way to do this, but I don't currently know another way. Oh, that's a lot of gunk. Oh, the Japaning's kind of flaking off in there as well. A lot of gunk. Oh, it's not. I'm going to take all that gunk. Clean up the depth adjuster knob, I'm going to take this stainless steel wire brush. I'm just going to really clean it up. And I've never seen this before. There are, let me see if I can show you. There are markings, date markings inside the depth adjustment knob. Never seen that. Okay, so apparently with all the research I've done, this just means that it is Stanley plane manufactured by Bailey, having these markings in there. I've never seen it because I've never restored planes this old, but from everything else that I've seen, I believe this plane is a Type 6, which makes it about 130 years old, which is very cool. But let's get back to the restoration. So here, I've got 3 pieces of Brazilian teak that I got off of a pallet a while back. Now these 3 pieces are going to be our new handles because they look decently similar to rosewood. and they just look pretty good. So I tried to pick pieces that had the least amount of sapwood in them. They only really have sapwood on the edges. But so these pieces are pretty good. Now I'm going to prepare these pieces and get them ready for glue up into the tote and knob blanks. So I got these laid out. So now I'm going to cut them and plane the edges for glue up. Yeah, those fit together pretty good. That'll make a good blank. Now we're not going to need that many clamps for this. But here we go. I just got to make sure I apply clamping pressure, but do not distort them. So this here is my lapping setup that I'm going to use to flatten both the frog, the back of the blade, and the plane itself. So first, the frog. I can actually flatten this thing much easier than other frogs because they have lateral adjusters, so you have to flatten them like this, and you have to dodge the lateral adjuster. This one doesn't have it, so I can literally just... That did not work. That tape was not strong enough. Okay, that's staying in. So I can just go like this and lap the frog flat. And then, once it gets kind of dusty, take off all of the dust. Well, that tape's not going to work. Okay, that's looking pretty good. These tapes are not... Should have had adhesive back sandpaper, but I couldn't find anything at Home Depot. Okay, that's probably good enough. Next up for flattening is the back of the blade. Actually, how do I want to do this? Probably just like this. So it's looking pretty good. There's a bit of pitting, but it's not bad. It's a very short blade. Must have been used a bunch by someone. Okay, yeah, that's looking real good. We're pretty close. Nope. It's all right. It's kind of polished. I'll polish up, remove the rest of the rust, polish up the rest with sandpaper. Now, I'm going to be grinding the bevel of the blade and getting rid of all the scratches and pit marks that are on here. Okay, I think that is all of the chips on the edge gone. Now I'm going to move to my stones and sharpen this up, because what I want to do before coming to everything else, like remaking the handles and polishing and maybe repainting, I want to make sure that this thing will work. So I'm going to sharpen the blade, probably address the chip breaker, just make sure that it works, so I know it's not all in vain. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work, but here we go. So, thing is, the interesting thing about sharpening this is the blade is wider than my stones. So I'm gonna have to, I think, go across. You get bar? Move the bar, off the back. Okay, so now I've got edge polished. Okay, so now I've got the edge polished and the back polished. Oop, did I just cut myself? I'm good. But now I'm gonna strop, which is the final step in sharpening, at least for when you're using diamond stones. If you're using oil or wet stones, sometimes you just use a high grit. With diamonds, I'm always going to strop at the end because diamond stones don't get to as high of a grit as wet stones or glass stones or oil stones. Now, let's see how sharp this is. Look at that hair. It's razor shaven sharp. And it's really easy to get a good edge. If anybody wants me to do a longer video on sharpening, I definitely will. Now I can put all this away. Then I'm going to reassemble the plane. And I'm going to give it a test run. I know it will not be working perfectly yet, because I have not adjusted the chip breaker. Well, other than that, and maybe the frog, it will be working quite well. It's just going to be looks and a lot of rust removal after that if it works very well. So the chip breaker isn't going to be perfect, and I know that. I just want to see that even though that there's this, that it'll work fine. So I'm going to set this chip breaker close to the edge because you set up jointer planes quite fine. Take the lever cap, screw it down. I'm going to take the blade assembly, put it in, and now, since I don't have a lever cap, I'm going to want to try, since I don't have a lateral adjustment, sorry, I do have a lever cap, I'm going to try and square it up as best I can, like that, but it's not going to be perfect. But now, alright, I forgot this thing is opposite threaded. Okay, there's a couple things I need to do just to fix this all. I think I have the frog I have the frog too far forward. Okay, and it's jamming. But that's an easy fix. I just loosen these frog adjustment screws a little bit. Ooh, the frog is out of square too. Move the frog back a little bit and then tighten them back. Ooh, hang on, let me square that. There's a couple other things that I would like to do. If it works well, I gotta like flatten the bed on the frog. Wrong way. I'm not used to this way threaded of the depth adjustment knob. That'll probably work. Yeah. Let me just grab a board. Let's grab this piece of walnut here. And let me out too far. Oh boy. It's out a little bit too far. Oh my gosh, I'm so used to the other way. That's gonna take a bit of getting used to. Okay. Okay. My vise wasn't tight enough. Okay. I'd say that's working.